Hello everyone, this is Ms.S.Geetha Priya, Assistant Professor of CSE RMDEC College. In this lecture, we will be seeing about open database connectivity, ODBC. So open database connectivity is an interface that allows your application to access the DBMS. It is the one which is going to be in between your application and DBMS, used for fetching or accessing data from the DBMS. Basically, ODBC is an interface between application and DBMS. And one of the major advantage of ODBC is it allows a single application to access different types of DBMS. This is the overall architecture of ODBC. So the first one is ODBC enabled applications. So these are the two applications of ODBC. So these applications are going to be connected with an interface, ODBC interface, and the ODBC interface will be connected to the DBMS. So overall, these three are linked with each other or connected together. In ODBC interface is going to have components. One is ODBC driver manager, the other one is ODBC driver. We'll see about driver manager and driver. So ODBC driver manager. This is the one which is going to be connected with the application directly. So we don't want to worry about ODBC driver manager. It will be defaultly it will be available in Windows. If you are using some other OS means you can access the open source softwares or open source ODBC driver manager available in the web. The job of ODBC driver manager is to load and unload the ODBC driver. So previously we saw that the advantage of ODBC is it allows a single application to access different types of DBMS. So it is the choice of the application or choice of the end user to select what type of DBMS they want. So depending upon their choice, ODBC driver manager will load or unload the ODBC driver. So depending upon the type of the DBMS, driver manager is going to load your ODBC driver. And the next job of ODBC driver manager is going to process the ODBC function call. So whatever the request or whatever the function call given by the application, that will be passed to the ODBC driver manager, processed, and then it will be sending the application request or function call to the ODBC driver. So these are the jobs of the ODBC driver manager. First one is it is going to load your ODBC driver depending upon the choice of the DBMS. ODBC driver manager can be available as a default in your Windows application, or suppose in some other way you'll be using the open source softwares available. And then whatever the application request or function call sent from end user, it will be processed and sent to the ODBC driver via ODBC driver manager. So the next one, ODBC driver. So the job of ODBC driver is to process the ODBC function call. Function call is nothing but here the whatever query that is coming from the end user, whatever the application is sending the request or query to the interface for collecting or fetching information from the DBMS, that thing will be called as a function call here. So it will be processing the ODBC function call, and also it submits the query to the DBMS. So suppose it is a SQL query means it will be submitting the SQL query to the DBMS. So DBMS will be processing all that query and it will be getting the data and it will be sending the data back to the ODBC driver. And then finally ODBC driver will return the result to the application. So these are the jobs done by the ODBC driver. Along with that, ODBC driver also does a modification in query language if the query language is not supported by the DBMS. That means, suppose an application is sending a query for accessing the DBMS. If the query is not readable or supportable by the DBMS, ODBC driver will process it and modify the query to the readable language of the DBMS, and it will be sending the query to the DBMS. So these are the jobs done by the ODBC driver. Now we'll see the ODBC architecture. So first on application we know these are the few applications of ODBC. So these applications are going to access your DBMS. So these applications need some data from the DBMS. So they are going to access your DBMS via the interface interface called ODBC. So first, whatever the request sent from the application will be received by ODBC driver manager. Before sending the query, application will be is going to select what type of DBMS they want. So they will be giving the request to the ODBC driver manager. Depending upon the choice of the DBMS, driver manager is going to allocate ODBC driver. That is, it is going to load the ODBC driver. After loading process, the application will be sending the request for fetching the data. So that request or function call will be sent to the ODBC driver manager, and ODBC driver manager will be sending it to the ODBC driver. So in this place, ODBC driver will process the query. So it will process the query and check whether if the query language is supportable by the corresponding or associated DBMS. If it is okay, or if it is supported by the DBMS, it will be sending the SQL request to the DBMS. If it is not in a supportable manner, ODBC driver itself modify the query to the supported language of ODBMS. So that request is going to be sent to the DBMS. DBMS is going to process the query, and it is going to give the result back to your ODBC driver, and following by the driver to be driver manager, and driver manager will be sending it to the application. So this is how application will be fetching the data or accessing the data from the DBMS via the ODBC interface.